Maxine again, rootsnorthernireland.com. This is part 2 of my series of videos on junior genealogy, mostly in Northern Ireland, but in Ireland and Scotland, and many of the things pertain to wherever you are, but some of them are very specific to this area. Now, in the last video we talked about why do it, and now we're going to talk about how. So for my purpose, I'm going to assume that you're all now really keen and passionate about this, and you're enthusiastic, and you're going to be dedicated and a wee bit slightly obsessive about when it comes to your family. But that's in my mind, that's what we're going with. Step 1, gather information you already have. Now, when you're doing your genealogy, it's very tempting to just say, oh, this is my great-grandparent, and go from there, and then try to connect from here to here. It doesn't work. You have to start with yourself first. You have to start first with this here, this level. Get all the information you can before you move on to the next one. And by that I mean births, deaths, marriages, all those things for each person. So for yourself, that should be fairly easy if you're doing yourself. And the next one would be your parents. Again, 2 parents, their births, their marriage, their hopefully they're still, but their deaths, where they're buried, anything like that. Then you get to your grandparents, and then now we're talking 4 people. So now all 4 of these people, figure out all that information about them all before you move on. Now that's if you're doing a general search. There are different searches. If you're doing one that's just, if you just want to do a particular line, then that obviously you would just do that. But again, you need to gather the information starting with yourself first. And so gather things like newspapers, photos, documents, sort through your attic, your basement, your junk drawer, the back of a closet, under the bed, anywhere there could possibly be wee pieces of information that you've put away. Now the next, after you clear that out and you do that, then you go to your relatives, and they will annoy you. They will try to get away from you. They'll try to escape you. Be persistent. I drove my relatives, and still do, drive them mental. But so what? Then the next thing, like I said, you check with them and have them do the same thing. Have them check all their stuff. If possible, go to their house, and if you're sitting talking, and say, well, where's your marriage certificate? And then they go, oh yeah, that's right, I have some up there. Where would you put any? Oh yeah, that's right. And they'll go, and they'll come back, and there'll be more stuff. Now again, it's being a wee bit annoying and right nuts, but at the same time, it's fun, and it also gets you talking to your relatives and enjoying their company. The next thing is, if your relative is uneasy about lending you any of their paperwork, nowadays there's actually really no reason for it. Take pictures. You have your cameras, in today's cameras, you just take pictures of everything, and I mean everything. Take pictures of everything and then have it later. So you have it. So that's the best part. Get that. Next step is talk with family members. Now you obviously you talk to your mom and your dad, and you get their information and whatnot, but then you move on to your grandparents. I would suggest, if possible, to videotape it. Videotaping it's a great memento later on in life as well. But it's wonderful. Now, some of the older people might be a wee bit taken aback by it, but I swear, once you get them talking, once you ask them the right questions, they'll start talking, and they won't shut up, and let them talk, because the stories are great. So yes, you'll get facts, and the facts are important, obviously, for doing genealogy, but the stories are wonderful to hear and wonderful to hopefully pass down if you can. Now, like I said, it's keep the questions open-ended. Things like, what was life like during the war? So it's not, I guess, a no answer. It's they have to actually think about it and then give you an in-depth answer. Right? Showing the interest to grandparents and telling you they like that. They like to share their lives, and if they think that you're interested, they will share. Now, I have on the thing is what questions to ask them. I have a list of about 100 questions or whatever on my website, and it's free to download. So it's, again, rootsnorthernireland.com. So you can go there and you can download this, and you'll have a set of questions to ask them to get get them their mind working, and get them trigger memories of their past and whatnot. And it's good fun. Next thing is pick a family tree software. Now my recommendations honestly at the beginning is to do everything on paper with pencils and erasers and just do a chart and get going. Again, there's a fourth generation or sixth generation on the website as well for free for download if you want to do that. And you just fill it and once you get that information, though, it'll get too much, and then you'll want to start to get some type of a computer program if that's your works for you. I use Family Tree, and it's Family Tree software, and it works really well for me. But again, I'm sure there's other ones out there. Pick a place to start. So you have to figure out where to start. If you want to start with your child and then you do yourself and their father and you want to do all those branches, that's great. If you want to start with yourself and then do both your parents and your grandparents and whatnot, or if you want to do just one line and just keep going down one line, that's fine as well. You have to decide what you want. You can still come back afterwards. So if you decide to do, say, your granda and your great-granda, that type of thing, so one particular line, that's great. You can always come back and do the other lines there. But the important thing is, again, finish each generation first. Don't move on until you know the facts about them, until you've exhausted all the resources that you can about an individual. Don't move on to their parent. Easy online records. Nowadays there's so many online records and most of them are free. There's a huge amount that are free anyway, that are birth records, cemetery records. There's a lot of them, and it's great, and it's free. It's time consuming, and you have to, but again, that's where you have to go person by person by person, because if you just jump up here and it'll be too vague. You need to make a progressive movement on that. Okay, so that's the thing is, again, just remember to track where you've been and bookmark the sites so that you know. Next is visit local record databases. For us here in Northern Ireland, that would be Prony. Prony is fantastic. They've got amazing records and they're helpful. So that's a big thing. If you wherever you are, libraries are always your local library is usually a really good one as well. Visit a family history center. Now, family history centers are run by the Mormons, and they are the Church of Latter-day Saints, and they because of their belief system, they find it very, very, very important to trace their ancestors. So for that reason, they have fantastic records, and they're always very willing to share, and they're friendly people. So next is keep organized. Now this one, I know I can preach this and I can preach it till all day long, but I'm not always the best at it myself. So, but it is a tough one. Although it's tempting to simply gather all the information and throw it into a file, you will regret it. Some of the most important pieces of advice I can give you is to keep organized. And like I said, I'm not the best at doing it. You can copy everything, date everything, record where you got what you did. File folders will become your best friend, whether it's a physical file folder system that you want or a file folder system on your computer. Either way, separate things, put them, tag pictures. I mean, like at the bottom of a picture, don't just have this. Put the picture what it is. It'll help you later on down the road, guarantee you. Next is decide how far back you want to go. So are you interested in how far you can go, or are you looking for substance of the different generations? And if your aim is to just keep going as far as you possibly can, my suggestion would be to do one branch at a time, because but if you're going to do your whole family, and like I said, facts first, and then go back, so you're looking at your 2, your 4, your 6, your 8, and you multiply your different ancestors that way. But again, if you're a direct lineage of just one particular line, you could do that as well. But for me, I like to go back and then come forward, because then it's amazing how many people share my bloodlines, and it's fun. Decide how much detail you want to document. Are you interested in just facts? Just facts, just to simply deal with the facts, or do you want details as you go? For example, one of my great-grandas was born in a workhouse, and I could simply record the date and location, but the sleuth, the detective in me, nosy body, I don't know, however you want to say it, wants to find out and document why he was born there, what were the living conditions like, and that kind of stuff. So where was his mother and why was his mother given birth there. So those things are like, those to me, I call those the leaves on the tree. So the branches on the tree are when you spread out, and then when you come back and all those little bits of interest, to me that's called the leaves. That's how I refer to it. Once you decide how you want to proceed, take the time once again to make sure everything is organized and documented. It will be your best friend later on.